Okay, so we have gone to Rorio, we've gone to Chippo. Things are happening as they have been recently, but this time the things happening are things that allow us to free up some space and a little bit of room in our wallet too, but not a whole lot. But yes, I confess we'll have some chunk of this episode probably spent filling in water, but you know what? I am happy to do that. Because we need the space for piñatas. And of course, we'll ideally reduce the number of piñatas as well, but not having our garden space cut in half is the more important thing. Sorry, Chippo. You might like water, but now we've gotten you in here, we don't have to please you anymore. I still remember back in the console version days, I've seen people claim that piñatas would get sad if you didn't continue to fulfill their resident and appear and visit requirements, you know, if they were passive ones, like have enough grass or whatever. I've never seen confirmation of that actually being the case, though. I'm curious if it is. Viva Piñata is definitely one of those sets of games on this series where I would love to see someone crack it open someday and really get an understanding of how certain mechanics work, because it's one of those series that kind of depends on people not fully knowing how it works. And there's usually all sorts of crazy stuff about that. These sorts of like simulation kinds of games, I guess is what you might call them. Like a management kind of game, sort of thing. You know, like where the whole game is about managing some kind of system, understanding how it works, and manipulating it effectively, and so on. There we go. Just having a hard time getting that in the corner there. Those sorts of games are some of the most fun to pick apart and really understand the mechanics of. Granted, there's a bit of a curse of knowledge in games like that. Hello, Galagugu. Oh, they actually still want the moon on a stick, that's funny. And they still want lots of tulips, too. I mean, I can do that. I can get 4 moth drops right now and so on. I can't grow 6 tulips immediately, but I don't think they need to be fully grown, actually. What's a Galagugu actually want? Oh yeah, you know, Serotonin is starting to show up. That's what it is. Their eyes look very strange in this game. He just needs to eat some of the stuff. Okay, cool. Well, in that case, I should get 5 moth drops. Can I, or can you only get 4? I don't remember. I can only get 4. Okay, that's fine. Bit of moon on a stick. Wherever that is, there you go. Oh, there's such gravity on the bottom left corner here. The game is insisting very hard. Hey, if this mousetrap becomes a resident, I won't complain. Just land and become a resident. Cool. I'll take it. And then tulips, a whole lot of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just a couple extra. Oh, I think the camera's trying to drag me to the macro raccoon. Although it usually just teleports me. Maybe it's different when you're in a shot view. You're a resident now, that's fine. No, also trying to drag me over here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it takes for the game to consider something grown, because I don't think it always has to be fully grown in reality. It's a good thing trampling's not the thing in this game, because piñatas would be getting trampled all day here. Might have to wait for the next guy for this guy to hopefully appear again, because the tulip thing is not happening, and also it's very late into the night, and even if I did get all the moth drops right now, it'd still be a problem. You need to be eaten by you, if I remember right? Oh yeah, you guys like to eat chameleons. You want an orchid? I can do that, but I have all sorts of pinatas that need to eat crazy things now. I'm accumulating pinatas that need to be bred, and I have not actually done that yet. You don't have a house, so I can force you to eat. But yes, got a little sidetracked for a while, but should I throw in a seed somewhere? There we go. Oh, that's not what I was trying to do. But, say Roller Coaster Tycoon, for instance, a game where there's all sorts of stuff of that nature that's interesting to understand, things that don't work the way people thought they did, and so on. And sometimes certain things don't work the way they're supposed to. Especially when it comes to probability and so on. People just never noticed there was a bug when making the game. On top of that, though, like I was saying, there can also be kind of a curse of knowledge, too, where you understand how the system works and precisely how to exploit it, and which things that you thought had an effect actually don't. You stop seeing it as a case of you, like, trying to organically make a real-world effort to make a system work. By trying to use your real-world knowledge that doesn't necessarily apply, but you just kind of hope does. But then, in practice, you learn that it's actually just a system that follows particular rules. To me, the worst case I've ever seen of that was in the game Game Dev Tycoon, I think it was called. Gameplay loop with that is very simple. You just kind of say, I'm going to make a game, and you decide basic things like the genre and so on. But you learn the actual mechanics of the game, and they're like the majority of the stuff that you'll find yourself doing and thinking about the game is actually basically just pure superstition. Very little of what you do actually really matters in that game once you actually understand its mechanics. It's a sort of game where once you're done with it, it's cool to look at the mechanics and understand how it works, but absolutely don't look at the mechanics and how they work while you're still hoping to enjoy the game, because it's a very hollow experience afterwards. Ideally, the game continues to be enjoyable once you do understand it, but not all games manage to pull that off. Just gonna get the border here to start with, because it's getting annoying how it's barely missing parts of it. I like to ignore the pinatas a little bit for a day here while I fill this up, because it will be nice to have space for my pinatas again. But yeah, I have no doubt there's a whole bunch of really peculiar stuff that would be fun to know about this. I have some list of games I'd like to one day, you know, do some kind of reverse engineering modding with, just because, usually because it's just a game that I like, but sometimes there's also just a apparent opportunity to really have fun with a game like that, because it's a well-suited game. I think Viva Piñata is one of those, because it's a game that feels like it hides a whole lot of secrets. It would be very interesting to uncover. And precisely what governs Piñata behavior and whatnot. Awesome, you actually visited. Although I don't remember if you did that last time or not. Whatever. What's scaring you? Did Chippos scare you? They're not gonna eat you. I'm wearing out my wrist tapping this much. Jeez. Oh, Vanilla, hello. We're actually making some space for you, if you can believe it. These guys continue to like the water, so I guess they're just going into the one little pool they have. They still have one in the northeast. I'm not gonna get rid of that. It's nice to have a little bit of water here. Cool, while the Elfinil is here, I should actually give them the stuff they want. Oh, Elfinil, you go into the corner, you can't really actually get out of, can you? Only need 3, but okay. I can give you a monkey nut because there are probably a bunch lying around. Maybe 1. You can eat that for now. Then gooseberries and corn. I guess the way things are set up, the north side's still going to be like totally blocked off from anybody wanting to enter the garden, unfortunately. But although the northwest will tend to be more open than this, it won't usually form a wall like that. I do need to get rid of something else. Oh boy, some bugs are worth more, right? And donuts. Generally speaking, yeah. And I will get rid of the Zumplex too, I think. Only have 3 left. Jeez. They sell for too much. It's gonna max out my cash again. Oh, but Elfinilla, are you getting around somewhere better? Where is Elfinilla? Did Elfinilla leave or something? Oh, they're right there. I just couldn't see on the map for some reason. Might as well put all this stuff somewhere that's easier for you to reach. It is still a bit crowded around here. But yeah, I'd love to see... It would take serious effort to get to that kind of logic if I was digging into a Viva Piñata game. That sort of game logic is not usually tricky to find. That'd be like pretty hardcore digging into the game. I make no promises that it would ever happen, but if I ever got into 7th generation games and I reverse engineering efforts, Viva Piñata would be really cool to get an understanding of what governs the probabilities that her pinatas appearing and certain behaviors. Like trying to get an understanding of how their happiness impacts how they act and all sorts of things like that. Granted, there are other games I have a much stronger personal relationship with. I'm much more likely to do that sort of thing with first, but still, it's one of those many it would be cool to do this one day sorts of things, even if that day may never come. Okay, oh boy. So let's prove the continuity of this government a little bit. I got my time-tested tradition of planting grass by just holding the cursor in place and moving the camera. I wish there was a larger cursor for putting down grass in this game. Because you have the 2 size modes you could use in the console versions. It'd be really useful here. This place is gonna feel so much bigger again, it's gonna be fantastic. So I guess at this point, I don't know if Pester is even a thing in this game. Ruffians seem not to appear. Not that they appeared that much to start with. They seem not to appear with me having gotten... What's scaring you? The ruffians seem not to appear with me having gotten the Mumbo statue. Everyone's scared. Who's scared of what here? I don't know who's getting scared by things constantly. I mean, is there even a reason to bother with this thing here? Sure, get some pinatas out of here. Get the big pinatas. Oh, and or the Captain's Cutlass. No, no, the Mumbo's just for the Stardust, right? Makes the Stardust take longer to show up or something. I think Delvino is leaving. How are they doing? They didn't, not a whole lot better than before, to be honest, but we have no shortage of other stuff to do, so I don't mind. Who wanted to eat this thing? I honestly do not remember, actually. We'll find out next time.